Well, hello everybody, and a very good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Simon, the Cruise Insider, and I welcome you along to this video. Um, Today, it's a bit more of a somber video. I am going to be talking about honestly something that a lot of people have been talking about. And it is to do with the crew members still left on board cruise ships, their mental health, and how they're coping with that. There have been, very sadly, I believe, five deaths or suicides so far. The latest one being on the Scarlet Lady on Virgin. Now, I do not profess to be a psychiatrist or somebody indeed who has any medical experience or knowledge of depression or whatever it may be that would cause somebody to take their own life. And obviously, to the friends and family of the victims, I send out my heartfelt condolences, as I'm sure all of you do as well. But I just thought I would address this because, as you know, I'm relatively new to the YouTube sphere, as it were. But I have noticed that quite a few of YouTubers, on talking about cruise ships and um, cruise ship bloggers, vloggers, YouTubers, a lot of them, or some of them, sorry, I don't want to say a lot of them, but well, no, a lot. A lot of them tend to be either people who love traveling, people who love cruising, or travel agents. There aren't that many. There are a few, obviously, but there aren't that many who have actually worked and lived on board cruise ships. I have, as you know, I have worked as a bartender, as cruise staff, as assistant cruise director, and as art director, with Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, as Amara, and on Carnival, and I've cruised on many, many cruise ships. But this isn't about me. The only reason I tell you that is because I do have some knowledge of what it feels like to be confined on a ship or being on a ship for a long period of time. Now, that being said, anytime I have been on ships, there has nothing like this has ever happened. So, again, I do not profess to know how they're feeling or what they're going through, because I haven't, and neither has anybody else ever been in this situation before on a cruise ship in recent memory. So, again, all I can say is, at last count, there was still 100,000, maybe a little less now, crew members still on board ships. And the problem that's been going around is how to repatriate them. Now, some people are saying that the cruise lines are cheaping out. And to be fair, Michael Bailey, the CEO of Royal Caribbean Celebrity, did not help himself by saying it was very expensive to charter flights to get all the crew members home. That was not a good thing to say, even if it happens to be true. So that hasn't helped matters. If you don't know, there's been a 400-person strike on Royal Caribbean. There has been some Romanian nationals who went on hunger strike, in order to get home. I don't know what else has been going on other ships. What I can tell you, though, is that for me personally, I was actually discussing this with my wife last night, and I've done 7.5, 8 month contracts on board a ship, and I can tell you, if my contract was supposed to be 6 months, and it ended up being 7.5, almost 8 months. Once was through choice, once was not through choice. And I can tell you, when you get close to your sign-off date and your going home date, you're counting down. There's nothing more exciting. It's awesome. When you suddenly get told that that's not happening, it's soul destroying. It really is. So I can understand. I mean, there have been crew members who've literally been at the airport and then had to go back to the ship, or the flights have been available, then the flights have been cancelled, etc., etc. And I can only imagine how heartbreaking. Well, I don't have to imagine. I know how heartbreaking that is. Um, Now and then, not having any end in sight as to when they can actually get home. So I can understand to a certain degree, what they're going through, possibly more so than a lot of people who may not have worked on cruise ships or, been in that situation. That being said, like I said to my wife last night, not everybody is the same. Let's get something totally clear here first. The governments of various different countries that have reacted to this virus, some have done it quite well, some haven't. I'll be honest with you, I live in Vancouver in Canada, and the Canadian government, I feel, has dealt with it very well. They closed their borders down, they closed getting in and out, even from the cross borders into the United States, they closed them down very, very quickly. In the meantime, in the UK, for example, they were still letting thousands of people a day fly in from bad hit areas like Spain and Italy. So the reason I'm saying that is because, have cruise lines made mistakes? Yes, absolutely. But also, kind of being devil's advocate, this is something unprecedented. I mean, it's never happened before, so we're kind of reacting rather than, or the cruise lines are kind of reacting rather than, being proactive, because nobody ever thought that something like this could happen, or if they did, they certainly hadn't got any plans in place for it. However, so I'm not saying that the cruise lines are totally blameless here, but what I will say, as somebody who has been on board and was supposed to go home and then couldn't go home, if it was 100% down to the cruise line, I would be mad as hell, and I would be upset, and I would be frankly outraged that I was being treated like that by the cruise line. But from what I understand, for the most part, it's not that the cruise lines haven't been trying to repatriate their crew. It's the fact that it's very difficult. I mean, they're not even being allowed off in most ports. And, my mindset alone would be that, okay, well, the ports aren't allowing us off. Even if we could get off, there are no flights available to get me home. That's not the cruise line's fault. Um, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting home anytime soon until they fix that. Now, yes, they could charter flights, but again, with 100,000 employees, cruise line wide, that is a lot of charters, and that is very expensive. So I do understand that from the cruise line's point of view. Now, they should also remember that the crew are way more important than luggage. They're not luggage, they're crew, they're human beings, and it's the crew that brings the cruise line all of their money, because without the crew, there would be no cruise. So they need to be treated with a bit more respect, absolutely. That being said, most of the ships, if not all of them, I believe, are completely corona free. Most of the ships, you are allowed walk around on deck. You have use of the gyms, the swimming pools, obviously, adhering to social distancing, etc. They're getting 3 meals a day. I believe most of them are in balcony cabins. And from what I understand is they're trying to get all of the crew, say from the crew from Asia onto one ship, the crew from Europe on another ship, crew from Latin America, South America on another ship, and they are sailing and repatriating their crew on the cruise ships. Now, here's the thing. They're not getting paid. I understand some of them did get paid for a while. I don't, and trust me, the officers and some of the higher management probably will be still being paid, or maybe they're not. I don't know. So don't quote me on that. But I know your average, cruise staff, waiter, bartender, etc., they've probably stopped being paid right now, because either they were meant to be on vacation when they wouldn't be getting paid anyway, or they're not actually working. And I'm assuming the people that still are working, that are providing the food for the staff, etc., I'm hoping and presuming that they still are getting paid. But the people that aren't working, they're not getting paid, and that sucks. But again, from a business point of view, you can understand that. That being said, they are safe. They're probably in one of the safest environments of anybody, because if the crew is if the ship is corona free and they can't get off the ship, they're not likely to catch corona. And they do have swimming pools, they do have gyms, they can walk around on deck, they can sunbathe, and they're getting at least 3 meals a day. So it is not the worst situation. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not trying to minimize the stress and nightmare that the crew must be going through, because a lot of the crew, and especially the crew from developing countries, they were dependent on this money to provide for their family at home. So, the stress of not being able to do that must be heartbreaking. I'm a father of 3 myself, so I know how much that would be affecting me. I just wanted to make this video quickly to kind of play devil's advocate. Please don't yell at me. I'm not on the cruise line side. I am on the cruise side because I was crew. But I'm just saying, I know for a fact that they're getting fed and they're safe. Now, like I said, because of the stress of not knowing what's going on with your family, the Wi-Fi on ships is not the best. So even if they have Wi-Fi, they probably won't be able to get in touch with them that easily. And if it does, it's probably, crappy reception, etc., etc. All I'm trying to say is, for some people, this will be an absolute nightmare, and for some people, it won't be too bad. It's hard enough living on a ship. I've literally been on board when, somebody has signed on and as a new hire and left 2 weeks later. They couldn't handle it. So, to be stuck and not knowing exactly when you're going to get home, for some people must be an absolute nightmare. Well, it's a nightmare for everybody, but some people will be able to handle it, I would think, a little bit better than others. All I can say, if any crew members are watching this, and they probably won't, but if you know any crew members on ships or whatever, tell them, if they can, reach out, talk to them, talk to your supervisor, talk to your friends, even if it's yelling down a corridor. Talk to your family. Don't bottle these feelings up inside. You're all in the same situation on the ship. Use each other to help get through this situation, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to get repatriated. You are going to get home. Life is not over for you. And if you feel like it's getting to a stage that you can handle, go and speak to the medical professionals on board. Speak to somebody. Don't just sit in your cabin and get worse and worse and worse. Please go and talk to somebody. People are there to help. You can even, if the Wi-Fi allows it, go on YouTube. There are plenty of YouTubers, myself included, out there that you can talk to. I don't know what you're going through now because I haven't been in the coronavirus situation on a ship, but I do know what it's like to be cooped up on a ship. I do know what it's like to think you're going home and then not get to go home. So please, by all means, talk to me. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Please, for everybody watching this, if you're on a ship, stay safe. Remember, nobody's forgotten about, or certainly the YouTubers and the people in the cruise industry have not forgotten about you. We're all hoping the best for you and hoping that you get home soon. And please, like I said, just reach out to somebody. This is a horrible time, but you will get through it. But like I said, please reach out. And if you like my content, if you don't like my content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. All we can do is be one as a one family here together, and try and talk and help each other through this crisis. Maybe this video has helped you, maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate and saying that for sure for the crew, I know the stress that you must be going through, or I have a little inclination, perhaps more so than a lot of YouTubers out there, of the stress that you must be going through. So once again, stay safe. I don't want to say keep your chin up, but I mean, understand that there is an end in sight. You will get repatriated, and nothing is so bad that you need to take your life over. Please reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. I'm always here. You can leave a comment or whatever if you want. I'll give you my private email, and you can email me and we can talk that way. Okay, so once again, I'm Simon. Sorry to cut such a kind of somber video, but I just want to hopefully maybe help some people. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Again, if you like the video or you think it can help somebody else, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and I will speak to you soon. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.